to this alpine bay. As the silhouettes of those peaks rise above us, so does the bottom of the lake rise beneath us. As we enter the bay, the color of the water changes as we leave the indigo blue of the lake's 1,000-foot depths and enter the light green waters of the bay's entrance, where for a few moments we will have only 4 or 5 feet of water under our keel. Emerald Bay is 1.5 miles long and a half-mile wide. Its deepest point is 207 feet, and its average depth about 120 feet. Because it's not as deep as the lake itself, Emerald Bay is not subject to the same circulation of water as the main portion of the lake. And as a result, its surface does occasionally freeze. During prolonged periods of cold weather, every few decades the entire bay freezes, most recently in the winter of 1988-89. The point on the left is Eagle Point, so named because of the eagles that nest there in the spring. On the right, Emerald Point. It was on Emerald Point in 1935 that portions of the MGM musical Rosemarie were filmed, starring Jeanette MacDonald and Nelson Eddy. The most remembered song, Indian Love Call. Historically, Emerald Point was also a summer lodging site used by the Washoe Indian tribe. Emerald Bay, the valley ahead and above between the two peaks, are classic examples of glacial movement, having a U-shape rather than the V-shaped valleys made by erosion. Glaciers came down through here, gouging and scraping off the sides of mountains and digging out the bay. On the mountain sides are lateral scars, gigantic scratches made by massive boulders locked in the ice as it inched its way towards the lake. When viewed in the daytime, the rock face also has a shiny appearance. This was also caused by the ice and is called glacial polish. The outline of land on the left, the ridge that starts at Eagle Point and rises to meet the mountains, is known as a moraine. A glacial moraine is formed by debris, rock, mud, and boulders that a glacier picks up and drops to one side as it moves along. Just to the south of that ridge is Cascade Lake, and further south, Fallen Leaf Lake. They, like Emerald Bay, were formed by glaciers. Had the glacier that formed this bay been less active, had it done less in its power of gouging and scraping, had it not done the job that it did, Emerald Bay would be a lake. Ahead and just to the left is a large tent-shaped scar on the side of the mountain. We'll give you a better look at this scar in just a moment as we get closer to the head of the bay. It's a slide area brought about by both man and nature. In 1913, the first road to Emerald Bay was blasted out of the side of that mountain. Some 13 years later, in 1926, a rock slide closed the road for a short time. But in 1955, on Christmas Eve, Mother Nature let go. And in a twinkling, a tremendous 600-foot avalanche obliterated the roadway. It took more than a year to blast out a new road, and to this day, local people still don't trust the surface tension on that rock face and tend to drive past the area in a hurry. By the way, that slide is on the lower part of one of Maggie's Peaks, named after the daughter of a previous landowner here in Emerald Bay.
Power lines over there too. Yeah.